Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And sorry for the late start today, or should I say the late start. But it couldn't be helped. But guess what? I got my bell. My bell is back from the dry cleaners, if you believe that one. But anyway, that's enough of all that who shot John. The important thing is that I have my bell back. Let me see here. Let me say hello to a few people. Let's see who was here first. Oh, okay. Lydia Washington was here first. Uh, oh, okay. All right. Okay. Hello, Annie Bullard, and well, hi, Lydia Washington. Hi, Black Queen, Berta Sanchez, Elaine Parker. Now, since it's already so late, I won't go through the usuals because I don't want to keep anybody up too late, especially people in Europe or Africa or even New Zealand or Australia. I don't want to keep anybody up too late. So let me just go to the last person to come in. And then Joy and Moore, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. I don't think I missed any other super stickers. All right. I don't think so. All right. Let me see here. Hey, Mo Shannon, H Knight, Shelly L. Hello. Shelly L wants to say hi to a few people. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Very good. So, with that, let's get on with it. Well, it's finally happened. All I can say is I'm glad I got my last dig in last night. Something told me to go in on them, and I did, and I had fun doing it to it. You know what? I dug and scratched and I clawed and just yanked and pulled and tugged. I did everything I could to admonish to. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to be like that with Edwina because Edwina, even though she told that man to get away from him, mummy, um, they're non-binary. Well, anyway, get away from my mummy. I don't really have a lot to say about Edwina, but that other one, I got plenty to say for her. Actually, um, the jumpsuit was just part of it. The jumpsuit was just part of it. Oh, really? Oh, really, Baron? You got a hidden troll on yesterday's podcast. I think I know which one you're talking about, but do tell. Um, well, you know what? It is it is part of it, I suppose. But I kind of felt like there was a troll yesterday, and if we're thinking about the same person, um, it's really a waste of time because um, it's like I used to say back in the days when I went out. I'm an easy date. Um, I'm easy to please. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. But I'm just saying, I'm just using that as a way to say that um, it is hard for me, if not impossible for me, to ever tear myself away from the Sussexes. So the little nasty quips and I heard this and I'm tired of hearing about that, those things don't work with us. We are a very cohesive group and we are here for the Sussexes. So all that stuff about, oh, I heard, and if I hear one more time, if you hear what, sweetie? If you hear what? because all those little negative things that some of you all trolls try to say about the Sussexes, they are not moving the dial where we're concerned. We are, in it to win it with the Sussexes. So save yourself, because otherwise, you know what you're doing? You are creating an algorithm, um, within your own world, where everybody are going to get recommended, one way or the other. They're going to have my channel pop up on their feed. You know what I'm saying? Which is only going to make this channel bigger, you trolls. So if you want to go along for the ride, if you want to watch, if you want to hate watch, go ahead, because it's only making the channel bigger. And it's really a shame that you derangers don't have as much love and connection with your faves. I don't even think they're your faves. I just think you're Brexiteers or you're MAGA people, and you're reaching that age when you realize that life ain't what you thought it was. So you're just hating on people that, don't look like you, probably don't look like you, people of another race, because you feel like you're supposed to be married to Harry, or you're supposed to, have all the advantages in life. I tell you what, if you scour, and listen to me, good haters, if you scour the thrift stores, you will find a Cracker Jack boy jumpsuit just like the newly minted, I can't even say it yet. I can't even say it. It's going to be hard for me to get used to that, because I'm so used to saying the Wessexes with so much disdain. Um, but I guess I don't have any choice. After today, I won't be able to refer to them as the Wessexes. But it's been a good run while we had it. Let's remember yesterday, shall we? How about this scene yesterday where you had the co-conspirators at the cenotaph, and there are two duchesses there, right? The Duchess of Cornwall and, the Duchess of Middlebum. I'm the Duchess. What was she? The Duchess of Cambridge Bum. The Duchess of Cambridge Bum. You have the Duchess of Cornwall, and then you have the Countess of Wessex, which is what she has been since 1999, when they convinced her, just wait, when Philip dies at age 99.9, then Philip died at age 99.9. And what happened? You still didn't get the title. You still had to wait. All right, so now you got it. Big deal. And of course, there were the glares, and then of course she, well, you can see she's wearing one of the queen's, that brooch of the queen. I forgot what they call it, the Order of Saint something, with that little piece of yellow toilet paper behind it, whatever it was. Okay, so you're finally in. But I tell you what, I will never ever forgive you, you Dust Bowl era Duchess. I will never forgive you for the way you treated our Duchess. It's going to take a lot for me to put that. But you know what? You still got to walk behind Mumbles. You will still spend the rest of your life walking behind Mumbles. And then after Charles is gone, right? After Charles is gone, whatever little crumbs that he feels you're worthy of, the next person you got to deal with is him. And wait until you see how he behaves. You see what I'm saying? So you got to accept those little crumbs from him right after you're through accepting those crumbs from him. So either way, you can call it a promotion or a comeuppance if you want, but, whatever. Oh, you know what? I haven't had a chance to look at that yet, Church Nelly. I haven't had a chance to look at that. Let me see. Church Nelly has something she wants to share with us. Uh, Oh, wait, where is it? How come I'm not seeing it? Uh, uh, well, that's odd. I don't see it yet. Okay, church, you might have to do that again. Oh, I got it. I got it. I got it. Thank you very much, Church Nelly. I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but I will watch it later. I think someone else sent it to me, but I will try to watch it later. Okay, so let's get on to the business, shall we? If you haven't heard already, and I'm sure, I have a feeling that someone at the palace, a courtier, somebody is watching Royal Sussex every day. Like, take a look at this. His Majesty the King confers the Dukedom of Edinburgh upon the Prince Edward. His Majesty the King has been pleased to confer the Dukedom of Edinburgh upon the Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, and Forfar. What is a Forfar? Okay, the Earl of Wessex and Forfar, um, on the occasion of his Royal Highness's 59th birthday. The title will be held by Prince Edward for his Royal Highness's lifetime. Do you get where that's going? His Royal Highness's lifetime. Let me see. The dukedom was last created for Prince Philip in 1947 upon his marriage to Princess Elizabeth, but held the title of Duchess. Who held the title of Duchess of Edinburgh before ascending to the throne in 1952. The Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh are proud to continue Philip's legacy for promoting opportunities for young people of all backgrounds to reach their full potential. Wait. Did you just see that? The dukedom was last created for Philip in 1947 upon the marriage to Princess Elizabeth, who held the title of Duchess of Edinburgh before ascending to the throne. Do you know what that means? Do you have any idea what that just said? Uh, see, I told you guys the Queen was not really making decisions for a long time before she crossed over. And I'm going to tell you why. And even if you don't care about this, I'm just bringing it up because it drives the point that I just mentioned yesterday. The Queen has today been pleased to confer the earldom of oh gosh, what does that say up under there? The earldom of on the Prince Edward. His title will be the Earl of Wessex and the Viscount Severin. Blah 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 blah. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the Prince of Wales have agreed that the Prince, oh God, I'm sick of that. The Prince Edward should be given the Dukedom of Edinburgh in due course when the present title, now held by Prince Philip, eventually reverts to the crown. In other words, the Queen could have gave him that title before she died. Are you guys listening to me? The Queen could have gave him that title because according to this, the Queen was no longer the Duchess of Edinburgh or Edinburgh. She was no longer the Duchess of Edinburgh ever since 1952. So when Philip died at 99.9, she could have gave him that title instead of letting Charles do it. I'm just saying. So Edward was waiting all this time from when his father died. They could have gave him that title while the Queen was alive. That is, and you know what? I wonder when the Queen signed that thing that, on a session day in 2022, Remember when she said, I want you to start calling my son's side piece the Queen Consort? I wonder if she thought she was signing something else that day, like a dukedom for her son Edward. Now I know that's far fetched and probably not true, but um I just think it's very weird. The queen could have done that while she was still alive, but for whatever reason, she didn't get around to it. And Charles probably say, "Oh, don't worry, mummy, I will take care of it." The queen hasn't been the Duchess of Edinburgh since 1952. So what were they waiting for? Joyceville says, Baron, yes, the Queen could have given the title to Edward before she died. Charles was trying to pull a fast one, just like he was trying to do with the Sussex's children before Harry pulled the rug away. Exactly. Now, see, I wasn't sure about this because one of the squatties told me, they said, well, the Queen couldn't give the title to Edward because as long as she was alive, she was the Duchess of Edinburgh. Well, it turns out she hasn't been such since 1952, according to the Royal Communication. So poor Edwina, poor downtrodden, misunderstood, non binary, bespoke, maxi coat wearing, poor maxi coat wearing Edwina has been waiting all this time. How long Philip been dead? About a year and a half? He been waiting all this time for his brother to decide that it was time to give him that title. Now you know that's shady. All that time Edward has been in the background waiting and brooding and plotting and then his poor old lady, where's she at right there? There she is. Poor Sophie is glaring at Kate walking around, a duchess, and well, now she's a princess of Wales. Kate is all dressed up and everything, and look at that face. That's the face of someone who didn't know that she was going to become a duchess until this morning. The queen could have done that months before she died and just didn't get around to it. And just like Joyce both said, Charles tried to pull a fast one, and I still don't know why he bothered. And you know what? Edward may have Harry to thank for finally getting this title. Edward may finally, I mean, Edward may have the Sussexes to thank for that title. Thank you so much, Joyce. Little Max says Edward's son became the Earl of Wessex because that title stays with the family. I'm getting to that. Thank you so much. I am getting to that. Let me see. Celebrating Ford Fiesta's promotion to Ford Escape. Woo! Thank you, Miss VS Speaks Royally. Thank you. I love it. She is no longer a Ford Fiesta. Now she is the Ford Escape. I love it. I love it. You guys, I thought I was going to be all by myself with the messy today, but I can see that you guys have definitely brought on the messy. So thank you so much for that, Miss VS Speaks Royally. And just to remind you guys, Miss VS Royally also has a channel. Yes, she is a content creator. So make sure you go over to VS's channel and show your support by subscribing, sharing, and of course, liking. So there you go. Well, so Ford Escape, I wonder if, yeah, that, woo, the Ford Escape. Woo! Woo! I love it. That, you know what? That is the funniest thing all day. The Ford Escape. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I just got my life just now. I promise you, I got my life. I'm just glad I got my last dig in there yesterday. I am so glad. I am so pleased with myself that I got my last dig in on her yesterday before this became official. So there is the link right there from Miss BS Speaks Royally, and you can hit that link to join that Sussex friendly safe space. Thank you, BS. And then I see some more messy downstream coming down the pike. Shelley L says, Baron, the Queen had more important things to do, like staying upright, staying awake during royal visits, and hanging out with her dogs. I'm telling you, you all are a mess today. I love it. Thank you so much, Shelley L. Woo! Like staying upright. And of course, uh, it would actually, I would be wrong if I didn't say it, but you got to remember too, the Queen was running out of people to tell that same story to. You know which one, right? 1992 is a year that I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. It was a horrible anus. So yeah, she was running out of people to share that story with. So aside from trying to stay upright and so on, she was running out of people to tell that story about how bad 1992 was. Oh man, I love it. Uh let me see here. Baron, you probably already know, big Princess Meghan's ancestor bloodline is connected to the British monarchy. I've heard that. I've heard that so many times removed, etc., etc. But of course, they don't make any mention of that, especially the royals. They don't really mention anything about bloodlines, and that's because, as the story goes, the queen and her ancestors, going back about a few hundred years, there's actually someone in Australia, if you heard that one before. If you look at the genealogy, there was a birth that took about, what was it, 10 months or 11 months to happen. Oh man, so you know what I'm saying? There was someone who may have been pregnant for about 10 or 11 months. And anyway, there's some controversy about who is the actual um who the actual monarch should be, but it may have been some farmer down in Australia. But thank you so much for your comment, and thank you for watching. I'm sorry, Corona Reina. Thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Cookies and Cream says the Unroyals probably didn't get around to giving little Edwina the title he's so craved because they probably had a lot of dirty things to do and not enough time to do them. Hey, Claire Kane in the house. Yet another Sussex friendly channel. Okay, so that is, you know what? That is, I just caught that, and you know what? When I catch something, if I catch something like that, then you know it's obvious. The Queen could have gave that poor balding man that title months before she died, and just chose not to do it. Oh man, and I was convinced because I thought she was still the Duchess of Edinburgh. And they signed an agreement saying that when Philip died, he would get the title. Now, I know she was mourning, and all those other things, but that poor non binary soul had been waiting a lifetime for that. And you guys, just so you understand, every royal prince that is the heir, not the heir, but well, the child of a sovereign is supposed to get a dukedom upon marriage. It is traditional that they all receive a dukedom upon marriage, but somehow they, Charles had to give that to him. I'm just going to say that Charles had to give that to him. Edwina waited patiently for his father to die, and it only took 99.9 years for it to happen. But he waited patiently for his father to die so that he can get that dukedom. And Charles just let him wait and wait and wait. And in the meantime, that po baby started dressing up in these maxi coats and stirrup pants and red linings and going to the gym and having leg day and all that kind of stuff. All that because his brother was just waiting to see if he was going to lose his mind or not. I'm telling you, them Scorpios. Oops, wait a minute. I'm a Scorpio. Never mind. But them Scorpios, oh man, Baron Duspo might even have to walk behind Camilla's kids if Camilla gets her way and gets them some titles, which I imagine she is planning and working on as we speak. You got that right. You got that right. And she's probably going to have a meeting with her friends in the tabloid media so that they can make the suggestion publicly, right? Because that's what they do is they have the conversation with the tabloids first and then it comes around to the real conversation. So yeah, that's probably what she'll do. Okay. Let me see. The palace briefed the mail on Sunday. Oh wait, let me pull that down. The palace briefed and mail on Sunday in November that that King Charles would confer the title on Edward because he didn't want. Okay, let me do that again. Wouldn't confer the titles on Edward because he didn't want the hereditary title to be passed down the Edward's, I mean, to, look at me, now I'm saying the Edward, to Edward's son, solution. They've announced the title would revert back to the crown upon Edward's death. Did you get that? The crown would revert back. I'm not the crown. The title would revert back to the crown upon Edward's death, which means poor little Viscount Severin does not get the title of the Duke of Edinburgh. Edwina's son doesn't get that title. Now, it is possible that at that point the title will go to Charlotte, who at that time should be Princess Royale, or the title may go to Viscount Severin, little Edwina's little son. William may decide to do that. William can do that if he wants to. So I think when Charles, whatever his phase is, a phrase is to Prince Harry, reminds me of when you look at someone and say, "Oh, they're special." Well, thank you, Tycoya Woods. Thank you very much for that. Okay. And Little Max says, I think he did so it would like he was always going to give the title as opposed to Harry outsmarting him. Well, it like I say, he may actually owe something to Harry. Edwina may actually owe Harry for this one. Yep, I think so. He may actually owe Harry for this. And right here, that's what I think too, Baron, because Harry and Meghan finally called their children by their rightful titles. They probably saw Ford escape and Duke escape looking sad and lonely. Yeah, I mean, I could only take this for so long. And even though I will never forgive her for the way she acted at the funeral, it is a bit pitiful to look at her. I mean, just pitiful. Look at how she's looking at Kate. The camera just happened to catch her looking at Kate while she is, patiently waiting since 1999 to become a duchess. And Kate married into the family, what, 11 years later, 12 years later, and now she's the Princess of Wales and she was stuck being the Countess of Wessex. Wow, that was dirty. Oh well. And then take a look there. Look at her looking at Megan. That's why I don't feel sorry for her. Look how she's looking at Megan. That was the whole funeral. That look. What was she looking at? What's your problem? What is it Megan has done to you? You married into the family. You left a PR firm drowning in debt, right? And not to mention some of those salacious headlines that went along with your failing PR firm. You're not even supposed to be there, right? But you somehow look past some of the deficits that Edwina has, I won't mention, but you look past some of the rumors and deficits, and you married into the family, and you just barely got to know the queen before she died, and you glaring at Megan like that? Have you lost your mind? What a sick individual. You know what, and I really hope that it would never happen. Okay, so right here, instead, King Charles will keep the title himself. This is what they said back in November. Although not use it, a courtier explained. They said the king wants to slim down the monarchy as it is well known. That means it would make sense to make the Duke of Edinburgh, is a hereditary title which then be passed on to Earl and Countess of Wessex son, James Viscount Severn. Essentially, this was accepted by the Earl when he agreed that his children would not be a prince or princess, although the daughter of Edward's elder brother, Prince Andrew, are princesses. They came about long before King Charles' slimmed down agenda. Well, Charles was not the sovereign at the time. There was a policy change, the source added. King Charles has not made Prince Edward the Duke of Edinburgh because he is, there it is, saving the title for Princess Charlotte. The Mail on Sunday has learned. Okay, so that was last November's thing. The revelation comes after months of speculation as to why the king has withheld the title from his younger brother, who had been expected to inherit the dukedom after his father's death last year. Right? See, even there it says last year, meaning what, 2021? A source said discussions are underway, but the favorite outcome for the king is that this title ought to go to Princess Charlotte. It would be fitting way to remember the queen, who, of course, had the title, the Duchess of Edinburgh, and a way for his majesty to honor the line of succession. Well, anyway, we know that this happened today, so never mind all that. All right, and look at them just smiling and grinning from ear to ear. We finally made it. And there's Edwina with her dynasty shoulder pads. And of course, there's Ford Escape. Every time I think Ford Escape, I'm going to lose it. But then there's Ford Escape with one of her ugliest dresses on, one of many, I'm afraid, just smiling and grinning because it finally happened. They are finally a Duke and Duchess. Isn't that nice? I tell you, it took long enough. Oh, that's for Black Queen. Eva says allegedly it was lots of There was lots of fairs going on in those castles. All of the people working there with thousands of rooms and beds. Well, yeah, back in the old days, it was risky to go through childbirth, as we all know. Not to mention, sometimes they just, could not have any kids with the. And then some of those, how do I put this? Some of those aristocratic men were not into the family making thing, so they would have to find a surrogate. So that happened a lot too. Um, and of course, as you know, that's why they used to call the queen's mother Cookie, because it was said that her actual mother was a French cook. And I saw a photo of the French cook. She was a little round butterball of a woman, just like the Queen's mother. And so even the Duke of Windsor, the one that was married to Wallace Simpson, he used to call the Queen's mother Cookie because of the rumor that her, you know, the mother that raised her could not conceive a child. And so, in order to help out matters, they used a French cook as a surrogate. Now, I don't know how true that is, but you have to admit it is kind of rich that before, back in those days when before the queen was born, after the queen was born, that people were referring to her mother as Cookie. I thought they called her Cookie because she was fat and looked like a cook. Well, little did I know. Little did I know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know why they called her Cookie. I thought because she looked like Mrs. Patmore. Now I find out they call her Cookie because they think her mama was a cook. Ain't that something? Manello says, Baron, the winking king is the real thug. It doesn't matter who you are. He'll rob you of what is rightfully yours and wink, wink to his equally notorious firstborn. Exactly. Exactly. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Charles thinks sometimes. It seemed like the easiest thing in the world is to just enjoy the position, go out, find people to love you, kiss your hand and stuff like that. But instead, he is always so indecisive and shady and malicious, especially toward his own family. The only one he doesn't mess with is William because he's afraid William is going to come smashing through the window and knock him down on the doggy dish like he did Harry. So if I thought William was going to come running up in my house after me, I wouldn't mess with him either. Unless I was prepared to go to jail. Oh man. Okay, so Adrian says if Harry and Meghan doesn't go to the coronation, the media will play like the Sussexes are being nasty. But if Camilla put her family in front and center, then the media can get a fresh story. Well, I don't think it's going to be front and center for Camilla's kids, but they will play a very important role and they are going to appear on the balcony. That's the part that I'm thinking means play a role is that they are going to be in a royal procession and they will appear on the balcony. Now, normally there is no, non-royals in that royal procession. But if you see Camilla's kids jump in those carriages, even though they're not married into the family, either one of them, with their kids or grandkids or whatever, then you'll know what's up. That means that they are playing a role. So the ceremony itself, I don't suspect they will have a lot to do. But if Camilla's daughter is wearing a tiara, That would be something unusual. Or if Camilla's kids are in the royal procession, that would also be unusual. So we'll see. We'll see. But playing a role, I think play a role means the royal procession with the carriages, and I think it also will include the balcony appearance. So that is what I'm convinced is play a role. Because other than that, there's really nothing else for them to do on the at the actual coronation itself, except for marching the procession into and out of Westminster Abbey. Now that would be highly unusual, but that may be exactly what's going to happen. And I'll be surprised if the press makes a fuss about it. Someone mentioned earlier the palace did a press release for the Wessexes, but not the Sussexes. Children title change, still shady. You know what, Lydia? That is something, right? Because did they? Okay, okay, okay. I'm going to tell you if this is true shade or not. Was there a press release for the Cambridges becoming the Prince and Princess of Wales? If there was a press release, but still, if there was a press release, then of course that's being shady toward the kids if they did not have a press release. Also, Charles had ample opportunity when he gave his speech, when he announced how much he loved the Sussexes and how now he is because okay, this is it. Charles did not have to automatically confer the title of Prince of Wales upon William. He could have waited. Charles himself waited until he was like, what, 18, 19 years old? So Charles wasn't born the Prince of Wales, he became the Prince of Wales. And the same thing with William. William, even if the Queen was long gone, he would have had to wait until his father gave him that title. It's not automatic. Now, what is automatic is Princess Lilibet Diana and and Prince Archie. But what is not automatic is Prince of Wales. The Queen's father was not Prince of Wales before he took the throne. You don't have to be Prince of Wales. So if the King, Charles III, did make a press release available for the Cambridges, and he didn't do that for the children, then I would say he's throwing shade. As for the Duke of Edinburgh, God, I hate to say that, that is a birthday present, so I wouldn't be surprised. So even though I think Charles is shady AF, um, I that's the way I see it. If he did one for the Cambridges, but still, you know what? Never mind that. It was still shady that he didn't mention it after the Queen died. When he gave that speech after the Queen died, when he declared that the Cambridges were Prince and Princess of Wales, that was the moment when he was supposed to say that Archie and Lily were Prince and Princess. He was behind the scenes conspiring to take those children's titles away. That's what he was doing. Thank you, Lydia. That all makes sense. And thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Lauren Brown. Let me see here. Okay. Let me go on here. Now, you guys, listen to me. I know this all seems so organized and expected, but let me tell you, what I think really changed Charles' mind, right? Charles didn't just change his mind because of a birthday. Charles didn't just change his mind because of the Sussex children. Do you guys remember a movie some time ago? It was called Basic Instinct. I think Charles came home one day and found that there was something very odd happening in his home. Let me show you what it is. This right here. Wait, there it is. Oh man, there it is right there. This is what convinced him. When Charles got home and he thought that they were cooking some organic soup or something for him, and he walked in the kitchen and he took that lid up off that pot and saw that there was a rabbit boiling inside. When he got home and he saw a rabbit was boiling inside of that pot, that rabbit was probably placed there by the Countess of Wessex. And so this was not an accident. She is sitting up there stroking that rabbit to remind him, listen, is Edwina's birthday tomorrow. Um, if you don't want to see this in your kitchen, I would give him his title. I will accept my title. Otherwise, be prepared for rabbit stew. So Charles, being a very pragmatic person, realized. So unofficial. This is my unofficial explanation for the sudden reversal when it came to those titles. I think it had something to do with the movie Basic Instinct, but there's nothing that can convince a person to acquiesce better than finding a rabbit boiling in your kitchen. So she's not beyond that. Trust me when I say it, she's not beyond that. So, okay, 10 says these little, what's that? Confetis? Is that right? Confetis is just a sweetener for the next lots to be announced. Camillas Children. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Camillas Children. Duke of Cambridge for Camilla's son, perhaps. Duke of Cambridge. Okay, Duke of Cambridge. All right. I don't see Duke of Cambridge for her son. As a matter of fact, I would be surprised if her son. Oh, wait. Let me think about that. Okay. Now, there has been a long standing tradition that the out of wedlock um, children, a son born to a mistress, well, in the old days, they used to give them a dukedom. They would be sometimes they would become a duke. Now, I doubt if her son would ever be a duke. But let me think about that. I mean, if it does happen, then we know that Charles is his father and not Tom. What is the father's name? Parker Bowles. Then we would know that Charles is the father. Now, Charles is messy, and Charles has been bent, should I say, a lot of rules to put his side piece on the throne. I mean, Charles being the adulterer and head of the Church of England is quite a stretch. Charles marrying his mistress and putting her on the throne next to him is also quite a stretch. I don't think he would have the wherewithal to actually make his son a duke. But you know what? If that does happen, 10, um, I'm just going to say it now. You were right. I was wrong. But thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Wow, I tell you, this is getting juicy, ain't it? Let me see here. Hi, Susie Q. Okay, Robert Hartman does not mention the agenda the media has against the Sussexes. They are defending themselves against the media agenda. These media dogs make me angry. Well, the one thing that I get very frustrated about when any of the American media mentions the Sussexes and try to speak as though they are informed about this situation, they never mention the fact that they are defending themselves from a royal family that has been briefing against them. Thank you so much. Nafisa Shabazz says, I thought dukedoms could only be given to blood relatives. Well, in the old days, no. In the old days, you could give a dukedom, a royal dukedom, that is a blood relative. But to make someone a duke is very unusual in modern times, if not almost impossible. But in the old days, like let's see, the Battle of what's it, Battle of Waterloo? Who built well, let's see, the house Blenheim Palace, right? Blenheim Palace. That was a dukedom that was awarded to whoever won that battle. That house, £40,000, and a dukedom was awarded to him. So that may have been the last time someone had been awarded a dukedom. But essentially, unless is a royal prince becoming married, dukedoms are going to slowly fade away. If there's not a firstborn male heir to inherit that title, some dukedoms will just disappear. And the only way to create a dukedom in modern times is if you are a royal prince upon marriage. That is where the dukedoms come from in modern times. And Elaine Parker, I am depending on you because um, you and I'm trying to think who else. Is it oh gosh, you and anyway, it's a couple of you all that have been very helpful with this. So if I get any of that wrong, please let me know. But I believe that let's see. Elaine Parker says William still holds the Duke of Cambridge title. I believe that's accurate too, Elaine Parker. I really do. Thank you so much for that. Uh, yeah, I think the Queen, like giving up the title of the Duchess of Edinburgh, if that is indeed accurate, because just because it was written from the palace doesn't mean it's 100% accurate. But if that is the case, that was because she became the sovereign. So just like the Queen assumes the duchy, actually, the Duchy of Lancaster, well, she became the Duchy of Lancaster because she's the sovereign. But if she was a royal princess, that wouldn't have happened. But because she was the sovereign, she was able to inherit it. So I think that's how that works. Okay. Uh, whose tunnel was I in? I was in a tunnel? Please tell me. That's news for me. That's news for me. Oh man. Okay. All right. Let me see. There was a press release for Archie and Lilibeth. What's there? Okay, thank you so much, Tin. I did not realize that, but thank you so much. Cheryl Bennett, thank you for the super sticker. And thank you both for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, so I am ready to move on. So this right here is, oh, wait. So Sophie Wessex News, Countess shows she's ready to take over for Meghan Markle and Harry. Well, and then I want you to take a look there on the right. Notice that the Wessexes, now the Edinburghs, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, you'll notice that they are doing a little cosplay of the Sussexes. Now, notice she's wearing that red dress with the button down and the belt. Now, you guys know that Meghan has that in light blue with a belt and it buttons down. And then notice Edwina with those huge Dynasty Dallas shoulder pads. Look at how big those shoulder pads are. Notice that Edwina has a red lining to his jacket to match the red dress. And that only happened because the Sussexes actually were did that first when they went to the um, what was it? The Commonwealth service at Westminster. That was that weekend when Meghan taught all of them how to dress properly and still be a duchess. So as you can see, yes, if they are indeed ready. And what's really funny though is take a look at the pictures on the left. They just happen to have Meghan and Harry with that same outfit on the right. But these two pictures on the right of the Wessexes and the Sussexes, they have nothing to do with that article on the left. I just happen to I just happen to throw those together. So okay. Let me see. That's right. Baron, you mean you got this info from a royal source? Exactly. Exactly. And you know, a royal source is never wrong if they're throwing shade at the Sussexes. Oh, man. Yeah, I do believe that, Naomi Maria, that Charles was doing some bargaining behind the scenes with the Sussex children. There's been a lot of girl. Let me see. I put it to you like this: there may have been a lot of negotiation going on, even though the press is saying, "Oh, that Charles is not going to talk to the Sussexes because he doesn't know if he can trust them." William won't talk to the Sussexes because he doesn't know if he can trust them. We don't know whether or not there has been negotiation going on behind the scenes. And we haven't spoken in a long time doesn't mean that they have spoken directly. Harry has people that represent him, and Charles can have people represent him. And so maybe they have not spoken directly, but it doesn't mean that there isn't communication going on behind the scene. Just like the United States always says, we never negotiate with terrorists, but we do. We do. We use back channels. And back channels is just the way of doing business, which gives you plausible deniability. So when you say, well, we haven't spoken, well, that means we haven't spoken. So it's not like you're lying or anything, but it doesn't mean that there is not memos exchanged between the two. Oh, I'm sorry. It was basic. I'm sorry, fatal attraction. Yes, not basic instinct. Fatal attraction. Well, who the heck was Basic Instinct? Oh, he played in both movies? Thank you, Madam Curiosity. Okay, fatal attraction. Thank you. Uh but it was a rabbit. Okay, so which movie was it when they woke up with a horse head in the bed? What movie was that when there was a horse head in the bed? That was the that was the Godfather, right? Remember when there was a horse head in the bed? I got that one right though, didn't I? When the guy woke up and there was a horse head in the bed. Did I get that one right? He woke up and National Velvet was in the bed with him. Well, just the head. But anyway, I know that there was one movie where somebody woke up and there was a horse head in the bed. So, okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. No wonder I keep seeing y'all say fatal attraction. I'm like, huh? Huh? What? Okay. Basic instinct. Thank you so much, you guys. Let's see here. So, this is what I'm wondering about this whole thing. So now that she is a duchess, is she going to get a better clothing allowance? Is she going to go to Westminster Abbey wearing that frumpy bathrobe again? Or will she get something that will actually, are they going to get her some new brassieres, right? I just want her to have some proper and who is that lady that used to make the bras for the queen? Do you think that they could get that undergarment maker, the one that used to make them bras for the queen? Do you think they can get her to work with Sophie Wessex now that she's a duchess? Because I just think when you're a duchess, you should be able to get past 18 hours and still look, you know, kosher. It's not polite to let them hang, is what I'm saying. Once you get past 18 hours, one ought to lift and separate. And that is what the 18-hour has been doing since the 1970s. They lift and separate. Yes, yes, Tia, new bras, new bras. A duchess ought to have a decent bra. So I'm just asking for a friend. Does this mean that she's going to get a better clothing allowance? And for God's sakes, please get her some nice bras, because um, if every time you walk into Westminster Abbey and the choir starts saying "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot," you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to wake up and have 18 hours to go. You're not supposed to leave the house and get around the corner and all of a sudden, 2 hours into it, you know what I'm saying? That's that. I mean, either that or tuck them into the waist. Either that or tuck them into your waistband. You either lift and separate or stuff them into your waistband. Just tuck them and tie it up now. Okay, so Mama Bub says, have you seen the late show with James Corden? He shows the wax figures of William and Kate. They are so ugly. I've seen those wax figures. As a matter of fact, I have spoken about those wax figures, and I have even made some proper adjustments to the wax figures. And if you give me just a moment, I will show you how I have made them even more lifelike than they were before. Give me just a second, because I was worried about that, because I just think that if you're going to have some wax figures, they ought to be an accurate depiction of the actual figures. And so right here, you can see William and Kate's wax. By the way, the wax figures are on the left side, and that's William and Kate on the right side. And so for William, I decided to make the crown of his head more accurate than ever before. And then, of course, for Kate, since she always starts listing her head to the side, you know how the Andrea Doria was listing before it sank? Well, since her head starts listing like the Andrea Doria, I figure I may as well just, kind of cock it to the side. I started to do something with the eyes and the mouth, but I thought that would be impolite. So I just kind of cocked her head to the side and left it at that. So thank you so much, Mama Bub. But yes, I did see those. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so too much shade tonight, I think. So anyway, where do we leave off? We left off with the 18 hours of protection, as well as the suggestion of discarding that bathrobe and wearing something proper to the Westminster Abbey. And then the other thing is, oy vey, I wish they wouldn't make me be that, you know what, but seriously, striking dress. She's got a good figure and access to a lot of fashion lines. Why do their staff sabotage them so much? Well, that was what one of the people on Twitter said. Um, striking it. Well, I mean, let's face it, that dress does look like a bird strike. Um, so I'm just saying, if you're going to be a proper duchess, it is time to step up your game right, Ronnie? Step up your game. It is time to step up your game and put yourself into some proper clothing, because these potato sacks, these matronly outfits. I mean, she's not that old. She's not that old to be wearing these matronly outfits that she wear. There, they used to call Sophie a Princess Diana lookalike in 1999. Can you believe it? Diana was gorgeous and the most stylish and elegant woman in the world. I remember that when she first got married to Edwina, they made comment about a somewhat similar appearance as Diana, but then quickly she started sliding. As a matter of fact, um, did I mention that I hope she gets some new? Did I mention that I hope she gets some new undergarments? Speaking of sliding, um, yeah. Speaking of, she started to slide. I'm hoping that she gets some new undergarments because, as I won't go into that again, but it's just not polite. Is all I'm saying. Is jarring to look at. Shelly L said it's definitely time to get a new bra. Pointing out, pointing out things you dropped on the floor. Woo! Oh boy. Oh man. Hold on a second. I didn't get hot. Oh, but yeah, when they start pointing at your shoes, then it's time to. I'm telling you, there was somebody who worked for the Queen that used to make all of her stuff, or just give us some of the ones the Queen had. I mean, what are they going to do? Burn them? Uh, well, thank you, Shelly Ellen. Thank you so much for the super chat. Oh man. Uh uh uh. Well, and then of course, her striking dress, which came in a berry red hue, a berry red hue, cascaded down to the floor, pooling in elegance, ripples past her ankles. Now, let me pull this away. So that's what they're talking about. You see that dress in the middle? The Countess wore her signature blonde hair in a sophisticated updo. Let me see, updo, highlighting her pretty features and statement smoky eye makeup. Sophie added a lashing of mascara, rosy blush, and striking plum color lipstick to complement her ball gown. Did she really? Oh man. Now, what confused me, okay, don't ask me why I saved that, but that dress in the middle, that's what they were talking about, right? No, seriously. They were talking about the dress in the middle. Elegant ripples past her ankles. What ankles? I mean, wait a minute. Those are not ankles, those are skankles. That's a no skankles. That's shin, and she ain't got no ankles. She got skankles. Well, anyway, whatever is supposed to be rippling. Oh, and then of course there's the mother of the bride couture on the left, and that doggone blue jumpsuit, which is the stuff of nightmares. So, like I said, all you have to do if you want to, let me get this right, is not, it was Fatal Attraction, not the other one, but it was Fatal Attraction, right? You got to boil the bunny in the pot if you want to become a duchess. That's it. Once you boil that bunny, then all of a sudden you become Ford Escape. Oh man. Okay, so let me see. Now, Playtales is one of the writers for the Daily Fail. Why call their daughter a princess if the Sussexes don't like royal life? Let me answer that for you. Do you see this line of succession right here? It says Prince of Wales, Prince George of Wales, Princess Charlotte of Wales, Prince Louis of Wales, the Duke, oh, wait. The Duke of Sussex, Prince Archie of Sussex, Princess Lilibet of Sussex, and so on. That is why you call them prince and princess, is because they are blood. They are part of the blood. Unlike you, Playtale, this is Playtale, by the way, this rather shrill individual right here, that is Playtale. So if you ever wonder who writes those articles pinned Playtale's people, well, it's Playtale. And look at her. She is so caught up. And I only just found this today. She is so caught up in the majesty of being a member of the royal family that she decided to look into her own background. There's her great grandfather and her great grandmother. Well, guess what? Her great grandfather is not royal, and neither is her great grandmother. They are a bunch of social climbers trying to climb their way up, but they're not royal. And so that's probably why it bothers her that Meghan is ranking as high as you could possibly get without being the Princess of Wales. She's ranking way up there. And you, Playtale, are just still looking into your genealogy, hoping to come up with some aces or something. But the thing is, you're not the Duchess of Sussex. Your children are not royal. And if you ask me, like if you look at that bottom picture there, she just walks around looking like the ghost of Tallulah Bankhead and hopes that people will think that she's interesting. So this is why we call them prince and princess and why you are not. So I hope that answers your question, Playtale. Next. So love is in the air. The Crown recreates Kate Middleton's and William's meeting at St. Andrews, with the prince taking a cheeky second glance as pair are filmed running. You're right about that, Reba. They all do seem to have that look, don't they? They all seem to have that life has passed me by. Let me put on some black boots. Maybe that'll make me look younger look. They all have that. If I just add enough extensions to my hair, people won't mistake me for the ghost of Tallulah Bankhead. Yeah, they all seem to have that look. Woo! Thank you, Black Queen. Oh. Oh, pray tell. Why is Playtale's face melting? I saw that and I'm just like, what? Because they are, and you are not. Just keep digging around your genealogy. Something is likely to come up or out. Uh, anyway, so they're going to reenact the scene with St. Andrews. But what I want to know is, did the actor playing William, did he turn around because he was wondering if the legend was true? And you guys know what legend I'm talking about, right? He turned around because he wanted to know if the rumors that he heard was true. And what are those rumors? Kate Middlebum. He wanted to know if it was true that Kate loves to flash her bum. So that is why he turned around. He wanted to see if she was going to flash him. He wasn't interested in her. He was just wondering if the rumors that he heard was true. Kate Middleton was nicknamed Kate Middlebum at boarding school after jokingly flashing her bottom repeatedly. They left out repeatedly, Royal Arthur claims. So that's why he turned around. So I just want to know if during the filming, at any point, was there any, flashing of the bum or the non existent bum during those scenes at St. Andrews? So, and also, if they are making, or should I say, when they do make the new season of The Crown, are they going to go ahead and mention the yacht parties? Forging a Princess, how generations of steely social climbing matriarchs shaped Kate Middleton's character. Yeah, are they going to talk about the yacht or the parties? Like you can see her back there with the bunny ears on, and trust me, it was not Halloween. Um, let's get this over with. This is a 2007 launch party at Chelsea Club for a documentary called Rabbit Fever. Huh, there goes the rabbit again. And the rabbit in question is the adult. Oh, okay, there you go. Anyway, are they going to talk about that? Are they going to talk about any of that stuff in the movie? I'm just asking for a friend. And let's just put this out there. Unlike other women, Meghan Markle, let's see, you can see here, Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, prior to marriage, confident, self made, meeting the world leaders, and doing impactful charity work prior to getting married. It's quite obvious why I'm considered a better royal. That's right. Meghan Markle is considered the better royal because meeting world leaders was not new to her. Being impactful was not new to her. So whereas Kate was riding in those black cabs and passing out and vomiting all over London, you had Megan, who was actually very serious and meeting world leaders and such, making an impact. So there is a difference. But of course, one has to remember that Kate is the quintessential English rose with all of her superior breeding and all that kind of stuff. So that's the difference. And then also, if they're making a new season of The Crown, how are they going to keep will they bring in a fan, a wind machine? How are they going to reenact those scenes where her dress flies up over the back of her head? I'm just asking for a friend. I want to know how they're going to keep her dress laying on top of her shoulder and flying over her head. Just asking for a friend. And then I'm just going to explain a fashion thing that happened with the BAFTA Awards. So people were wondering, why is she wearing those black gloves? They don't make sense. I promise you, I have not touched these photos up. I suspect that all of that going to the gym and, getting confused and having arm day like maybe 5 days out of 7 is the reason why she opted for the gloves, because theatrically it was just better suited for that gown. So things have changed since she first put that gown on. Like, number one, that white thing over her shoulder is longer. And number two, number 10, I don't know. I don't know, but she must be lifting something. She must be lifting something. But I promise you, I didn't touch up those photos. But that's what she's been hiding. Now, I don't want you guys to think I'm picking on Kate, because if you look here, Prince William gets wet and wild. There are quite a few photos out there of William that we will never see, but the newly minted Prince of Wales has had his moments. And we don't see those photos because the press was too busy trying to damage Harry's character and trying to put him on blast so that they could somehow avoid ruining the future king of England with all of their gossip and innuendos. But the truth is, William was out there. William has a bit of a pass. And, well, they have managed to buy off enough people, allegedly. They have uh, cleaned and erased all of the disparaging photos off the internet. And maybe one day, just like the queen and her family saluting, like they're over, there, um, maybe one of these days that stuff will come out. Maybe one day. Don't know when, don't know how, but one of these days those photos are going to pop up, and and we'll see them then. But for now, no. Um, for now, we won't see them. But William, okay, here we go. So, as you can see, he's been shaking that moneymaker for years, but we just cannot seem to ever find those photos. But if they're out there, I'll find them. Yep, that's William. Gotcha. Okay, you guys, enough of the shade. Most Googled black women uh, of 2022 per search: Zendaya, Serena Williams, Meghan Markle, Beyonce, Michelle Obama. I know we've seen this information for the past week, but I wanted to share this with you. I love the way they collage those photos. Isn't that really cool? Look at how they collage those photos. Love, love, love that. So I don't know who was the first one to post that, but thank you so much. I think it is amazing. So thank you, squaddies, for all of the material. If it wasn't for the Sussex Squad Detective Agency, if it wasn't for people like this person, whoever it is, that collage these photos, um, chances are I wouldn't have as much material to share with you guys. Now, I do have a black belt of my own in oh, sorry about that, in editing photos, but sometimes I find stuff that is so clever that I'm like, how come I didn't do that? Like this one right here, that smoldering hat that was gifted to the Countess of Wessex. Well, one of the squaddies actually put this together. And so to add to it, I went and found the picture of the corgi and the picture of the queen with the corgis. But originally, it was just the countess and a bag of poo. But I added to that to make up a more, cohesive story. But again, it takes a village. So thank you to the squaddies that have contributed not only to my channel, but to other content creators. Greatly appreciate it. And it helps us to have fun and also be informative at the same time. And so, with that, you guys, I am done, done, done. And I am going to say it in advance because when Connie Balmer wakes up tomorrow, she's going to watch. So, let me just get it out there. Connie Balmer! All right, so I got my Connie Balmer in. Also, I am going to celebrate our two queens. Our queens of, there we go, our Queen of Hearts. Okay, where's our Queen of Hearts? There we go. our Queen of Hearts, and our Queen of Everything. And also, I got my bell back. So thank you very much. Thank you all for your contributions. And also, thank you for your kind words and for liking and sharing. Please don't forget to support the other Sussex friendly channels. Very important to our mission to support the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. So, with that, you guys have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow. And let's see, I'll probably have a little more shade for you tomorrow, too. There's always room for shade. Oh, thank you so much. Joseph Berno says, good night, my beloved squaddies, which sounds like an ending to me. So that will be our last word for today. Good night, Joseph Berno. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And with that, I am going to cue the Ginger Avenger. All right. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Oh, that's not Ginger Avenger. Here we go.